Well, we can have a chat now with a man who'll be key to the All Blacks' hopes in the upcoming World Cup. Scrum half and All Blacks centurion Aaron Smith joins us. How does it feel to have the centurion name in front of your name now?
Oh, I think it's the first time I've heard it being said, to be honest, mate. But no, it's obviously still hits you pretty hard and something very special. I think as you see boys play 50 games and you see guys from other countries get 100 games, you understand how much and how long you have to be in the game and disciplined and dedicated to reach 100 tests. And it's just very special, and it kind of feels like a bit of a blur. Heading into my last year, you kind of go, where did it go? I've just been riding a wave and loving every minute, and it's an amazing what we get to do, and as a professional athlete, to do something you love and be paid for it is I do it for free as well, so it's a true dream come true, and I think all of the men in rugby and women getting paid to play, it's very special and it's a huge honour.
Mate, it is a dream come true. I think I was probably, I don't want to embarrass myself, I was probably about 19 when I took the posters off the wall and realised that it wasn't going to come true. I think my mum actually probably took them off the wall, to be honest.
Yeah. I think I took them down a lot younger. I thought, I was hard out into skateboarding in my sort of high school years. So, but yeah, no, you always had that dream, and especially probably a big New Zealand thing, and is every sort of June onwards was rugby All Black calendar, and whether it was watching games or getting up early to watch them overseas.
Who were the posters on your wall? Graham Bishop, I'm guessing.
I grew up in Manawatu, which is in the Hurricanes region, and Tana Umanga, Jonah Lomu, Christian Cullen played for them, and you couldn't go past them, and Tana and Cully, and then Nonu came along sort of midway through high school. But yeah, those guys were rock stars, and they were pretty stylish too. Jonah with the fringe and Tana with the dreads, and Cully was just mean. So when I was growing up, I was sort of like an outside back then when I was small and fast. And then everyone grew up and I got slow and short.
I hate that when you start growing out of position. You mentioned how it goes past in a blink of an eye. And it's so true. I remember the press conference where you were being introduced as the hairdresser from Manawatu. And I think Steve Hansen was talking about how, you were saying how shy you were and he was saying how chirpy you were. Going into the All Blacks environment back then for you, just as the hairdresser from Manawatu, I know you're so much more than that at that time, but that's how it was painted by the media. Mate, it must have been crazy going into the All Blacks environment at that age.
Yeah, I think I was quite lucky. I did hairdressing for a couple of years out of school, and I was playing I had my 20s year, my second year out of school, and I made New Zealand 20s, which was the first sort of serious team I'd made, really. I didn't make anything at school sort of noteworthy, and then coming out of school playing club rugby, then progressing into academy, and was given a chance to trial for the under-20s and took my opportunity and went to a World Cup. And I had sort of 6 months preparing for that World Cup in the June in 2008, and I just loved it, and it gave me a taste of sort of professional footy. And then sort of I had an injury that year, but I was quite small, so it kind of gave me a chance to kind of strengthen my body up. But, you just get a little bit lucky on timing, the way rugby was going. It was looking to kind of speed up. Kind of halfback was coming to a position of an opportunity to change that kind of physique of a halfback, and it's something I think I got lucky with was some coaches saw that type of game could suit. Playing at speed, moving the ball, and I was very lucky with Dave Rennie at under-20s to give me an opportunity, and then he was my Manawatu coach as well at club level, and but it still took me a couple of years to crack Super Rugby, and when I made Super Rugby, it started happening pretty quick. But I had my sort of stewardship under Jimmy Cowan for a year in 2011, which was a World Cup year, and I learnt so much and just sort of took it all in And then in 2012, just really, was able to build some consistency and performance, start games, and then a new coaching staff, as you said, gave a cheeky Māori boy from Fielding an opportunity. And I really, I was scared, excited, but when you're young, you kind of don't really get how much pressure it is and how big it is till it kind of happens. And my first All Blacks year, I was just sort of week to week living it up, training, hanging out with guys I grew up idolising. Like Dan Carter was my roomie sometimes, and Mā Nonu and Sonny Bill Williams and Richie McCaw, Kevin Mialamu, all these legends of our game. I was playing with them, and I was just getting up every day trying to be the best I could be and learn and grow, and learning from, they'd won the World Cup the year before, and I was just riding the wave. And then as you progress through your All Black career, your role changes within the team. But I think when you're young and a little bit naive, you kind of just, if you do what they say, if you watch how they prepare, if you watch what they do to get the performances, and I wouldn't say I was perfect, but you definitely get those, you see why they do that, and they got that on Saturday, like they went to bed early, they were stretching a lot, they were watching the footages, and they were so diligent with their skills. And I think you need to, if you come into a sort of that test arena, it's not that you can't play, it's actually all the stuff, the little things around your body, your fitness levels, and your mental capacity to handle pressure shows up. Because in Test rugby, if there's a little crack, it pops, and the water will always find the crack.
Yeah. Looking at when you're coming into that environment and there's those big names like driving standards, like who was obviously McCaw's driving the standards, but like who were the scary ones? I mean, I don't know if scary is the right word, but who are the guys you're like, shit, I've got to be making sure I dot every I and cross every T here, otherwise they're going to pull me up?
I think that's there's the captain obviously, but then in rugby or in our team there's like a back seat which is sort of run the standards of the team, so curfews and dress and stuff like that, and coaches, and in the All Blacks it's high standards across the board, so you're expected to kind of pull each other up on anything if you're wearing the wrong stuff, if you're late to something. And
do you still get pulled up now?
I got pulled up for a beanie the other day. Yeah, I was wearing I had an Adidas beanie, but it wasn't branded or like All Blacks on it. So, and it was but I'm the one that kind of, I'm backseat now, so I kind of, if I see anything, I hit it pretty quickly. But we're not trying to catch out; we're trying to help out. So we're trying to guide, especially young guys. There's some things you can wear and can't wear, and timings and having your book with you all the time. It's not a fine system or a tell-off. It's a, hey, mate, yeah, you got to change that or do that. And when I was coming in, it was definitely like the Kevin Mialamus or all the leaders, really, that kind of senior group. We all know who we were when I first came in with. But they're there to help you, as I said. It ain't a telling off. It's a try this next time or make sure you wear that or,
So you were wearing a non-branded Adidas beanie
I was wearing an Adidas beanie, but it wasn't the All Black logos on it. It was just so I took it off, and that was fair call because it didn't have we were in training, you got to wear your logos, and it was just an Addy beanie, and it was cold, so I quickly whipped it off and toughed it out.
So was that? So was this? I'm guessing this is in Germany at the moment. So you guys are give us a rundown of like the setup there, because you guys are in camp in Germany at the Adidas headquarters, I want to say. So give us a rundown of like what it is, what you're doing there.
Well, we're in Herzog, which is just out of Nuremberg in Germany, and it's Adidas HQ, I think, where they do a lot of the designs and come up with all the ideas for all their footwear and clothing and that. And we're staying at a place called Homeground, which is 8 years ago they built it for the German soccer team. And to be honest, it's amazing, and
Really?
it's like IKEA and little, well, not huts in the forest, but chalets in a forest, and it's very nice. And we've got everything we need to kind of prepare. Where we bike to training, which is something Kiwis don't do. Usually we bus everywhere, so we bike to the training ground, bike to the gym. It's very cool, and we also got to go to the shop yesterday and stuff. So yeah,
Just get what you want. Just pick what you want from the shelf, or
we were allowed 6 items, and it was pretty cool. So very lucky.
What'd you get?
And we get a lot of gears. I got some Y3 stuff, which was pretty cool, and a couple of hoodies. But mate, as a sports person, it is a little bit like heaven. It's like the Adidas buildings, the Germans are in their way of designing things. Like, yeah, it is pretty insane about how cool some of the buildings are and the facilities. Like where we're based now, it's got everything. You can't really complain, and it's a good week's prep for us just before we get into the real deal of the World Cup.
Yeah, let's talk about the World Cup, because you're heading into. Is this your third?
Yes.
Yeah. How's this one feel in comparison to the other ones?
I think sort of like I said, around your riders in your test career or rugby life. Going into my first World Cup, I was very much just young, trying to be the best I could be. But I was very aware I was in a very good team of players that were taking a lot of the pressure off us by running the team and stuff. And I think they had, obviously, a lot of them had won it. 8 or 9 of them had won the World Cup before that, or been to 2 or 3 before it. So we had a very experienced leadership group who had been through a lot, wins and losses, and in the big moments and the big situations in that World Cup, they knew what to say or what to do or how to get momentum back. And as a young guy, you're always guided off your leaders and how they react and what's next. And then going into Japan, I think it was a bit of a changing of the guard, and sort of been in the team about 8 years and was a leader, and a different experience of going in. I was really excited about it, and just you can't get out of the way of just one game, but one game really cost us, and we didn't show up. And to be honest, I thought 2 World Cups was going to be my kind of thing, and then I had a baby just before that last World Cup, and it was my boy's 4th birthday yesterday. So it's sort of
happy birthday.
Yeah, Luca boy. And it's one of those things that was like, oh, that's right. Before the last World Cup, I had all that going on, but I learned a lot around, in the big games. We need to learn from that last World Cup. And then obviously in the last 2 years, we haven't had the performances as most consistent as we'd liked. And heading into this year, it's been a real positive step around all of that. Our game growing, putting together, combinations that we can trust, and trying to and there's one thing that's been nice is just trying to enjoy day to day. High performance sport isn't fair, and injuries happen and things happen that you can't control. But if you let all that worry or doubt, or you won't be given it 100%, and I've always been like that, give it 100% and see where the cards lie. And but a World Cup in France is very special, and I just can't wait to get there and start it.
Yeah, it's been a good year this year, and then the slip up at Twickenham. But why don't you go? I mean, I've done that trip back to New Zealand so many times. You guys did it a week before the game? Why don't you just come out and say, "Fuck, we were jet lagged, we were tired going into that game"? I know you can't, but I would have wanted to hear that.
Oh no, we were humming, mate, and we just we put ourselves under pressure early, and couldn't catch the momentum back. And when we had our chances to sort of counter, we'd turn the ball over again, or we'd give away a penalty, and we just couldn't stack enough moments. And South Africa were really up for it, and you can't deny that. And we have to really just take that for what it was. there is a lot of positives in that game, and people probably won't see it. But as a team, we know we were off, and we showed a lot of guts and bravery in that first 15, 20 minutes. But we also put ourselves in pressure of cards, and they dictate the swing of game so much. But by no means are we blaming the travel or anything for how we played. We have no excuse around our sleep, recovery. We get everything we need to perform on a Saturday. And we went to Argentina 6 days before and played really well, so there's no excuse. We did that 2 months ago, so no, South Africa were the better team on the night. But we have to take the learnings, but we can't let one performance dull a great year we've had so far.
Yeah. Well, what were the big learnings that people don't really see?
Oh, I can't give away everything, mate. We have to show.
No, true. Good answer. Yeah, looking at France. Yeah, because you're up against Dupont. Like, Jesus, it doesn't get much harder than that.
Yeah, well, I think, man, the guy's changed the game and for a halfback anyway, and the way he's playing rugby at the moment, and 2-time World Player of the Year, and what he's done at club level and at international, full credit to him. So a lot of praise there. But funny with halfbacks, you don't get really much head-to-head action, like running into each other or stuff like that. But I think the challenge as a 9 is how you get your team around the field and how you control pace. And we know, and doing our homework at the moment on the French, is he dictates a lot of their play. So, we have to be very aware of what he does. But he's in a very good team as well. So it's obviously he's an amazing talent and player, but he's got some amazing athletes and just some great players, loose forwards, front rowers. They've got a goal kicker who doesn't miss. All these things that make a great test team, and their defense is really solid as well. So, these are the games as an athlete you want. You want the big game. You want the pressure. You want a full stadium of French people going mad and wanting you. And, after we lost to England last year, I was building in my mind of going to a third World Cup, being in Paris at the Stade de France, playing France. It's been my driver all year, and we're nearly there, and I hope I get that opportunity.
Oh, I'm getting excited. Mate, it could be like, I mean, this is your last tournament, and I've watched the documentary on NZR Plus. It's quite spine-tingling to hear you talk about realising that every game from now on could be the last time you take off the All Black jersey. Can you just talk us through like that thought process and the enormity of it?
I think it's about. I talked to a couple of senior All Blacks who have done it already, like finished up, and they say don't dwell. And literally, I've had a real good focus on just like enjoying the day and what's ahead of me in the day. And I'm in Germany right now, Adidas heaven, training, playing, preparing for the All Blacks to play France. Like, that's where my mind's at the moment, and I'll get reflective later. I would hate to look back and have regrets that I was dwelling or getting emotional, or I know it's coming to an end, and that's good. And I was able, the best thing I love about it is I control, my destiny. And, I walk out on my terms, and if something happens or whatever, I can live with that, because I know for the last 12 years I've given everything I can for this jersey, and, I won't, I don't have anything to be bitter about. This team, this jersey, playing for my country, to represent my family, it's given me everything. And, now I'm a father, and that it's given me an opportunity to provide for my family. And I'm just a very blessed man. Got given certain talents, and I've just tried to maximise every opportunity. And the All Blacks, our environment, our teams give you every opportunity to be the best person you can be. Plus, you're playing with some of the best players as well. And I love nothing more than being inspired by my teammates to want to be better every day. And that's always my mindset, is how can I get a little bit better today? And, I've still got that fire to do that. But I will my plan is to try and walk away with no regrets of I didn't work or give it everything I had, and I'm just trying to give everything I can for the day, and finish today strong, and then tomorrow will happen.
Epic. Before I let you go, I want to talk to you about the haka a little bit, because obviously, is it the Kia? Is that the name? What's the name
Kaya.
of the leader of Kaya? Sorry, my wife's going to kill me. You're the Kaya,
That's
so
how
that
it's
means
spelt, but yeah, it's Kaya. Yeah.
I didn't realize that when you guys are practicing, how you practice the haka. I've never seen you guys practice the haka, but then I saw it on that documentary. Like how does that all work? Who faces off to who, and like what does that process look like? And you're running the show, right?
Oh, and Derek Ladali, Sir Derek Ladali is a man with huge Māori tanga in New Zealand and mana, and he came up with Kapo Pango Haka, and he's actually with us in camp at the moment, and he means a lot to New Zealand and our team, and he's got a lot of wisdom, and we use him definitely around our culture and what makes us All Blacks, and especially around the haka and sort of waiatas and songs. But we practice it obviously, and we try to grow more understanding around it, what the words mean, what does certain actions mean, and if you can't do a haka hard against your mate, one of your best mates, you ain't going to do it hard against an opposing team. So we've tried to really power up the haka, and that's sort of something I've tried to lead this year around powering up Kapo Pango, because that is the All Blacks haka. Kamate is kind of a statement haka in New Zealand that people will do a lot, whether it's for a tangi or a birthday or a celebration of someone or a huge milestone, where Kapo Pango is only done by the All Blacks, and that's our haka. So and that's something we've tried to power up, and something I'm trying to power up and sort of leave behind is teaching our young men and our team the meanings of it, the words, why the actions are, and the main thing around the haka is it's our one time to be united as a team and show who we are. And that's special, and we're very lucky to be able to do that in Test Arena. And it's been for 100 plus years, and it's a big part of becoming an All Black and being an All Black, and it represents our people and our country and our culture.
Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what Kapo o Pango means, what that haka means, and sort of what the message is that you're giving as an All Black to the opposition and opposition fans?
Well, the words are very much special to us. So they're not anything out there or anything crazy, but all a haka is it's laying down a challenge, really. We are here, we are united, and we are one in sync in this moment. And that's sort of all I'll say about Kapo o Pango.
Mate, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, definitely, like, always one of the highlights around the world. I mean, not just for a Kiwi to watch, but, speaking to other internationals like Jim, that's faced Jim Goody. Jim talks fondly about facing the haka all the time. So, no, it's cool to see you lead it as well. You do a bloody good job, and best of luck for the World Cup, mate. Go all the way.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much.
Pod. Rugby Pod.